This afternoon, she wrote, "You weren't joking. You hide your misogyny and your racism behind your jokes on ABC. This was a dog whistle to the violent left to assault me or worse." And you're misspelled "you're," of course. Well, that's nice. She thinks I have fans. I guess that's good. But now listen, not only don't I condone death or any kind of threats against anyone, especially since I get dozens of them a week myself, this woman, you may remember, she's the one who endorsed fringe conspiracy theories and repeatedly indicated support for executing prominent Democratic politicians. Now she's dialing 911 because she got made fun of.
Let's pause right there, because what you just saw wasn't a punchline. It was a full-blown meltdown. Marjorie Taylor Greene, a sitting U.S. representative, is accusing Jimmy Kimmel of inciting violence for making a joke, not a threat. Not a rally cry, a literal Oscars reference. Now keep in mind, this is the same Marjorie Taylor Greene who has endorsed conspiracies, made comments about Jewish space lasers, and once suggested that certain Democrats should be executed. But someone makes fun of her on late night TV, and suddenly she's calling the cops like she's being chased by the Joker? And let's not ignore the irony here. She called the joke a dog whistle to the violent left, yet the only violence here is the assault on logic. She says Kimmel's fans are a threat, which, if you've seen Jimmy Kimmel's audience, are mostly middle-aged people clapping politely in khakis. Also, the tweet that started it all? Full of righteous rage, and one hilarious typo. She wrote "your" instead of "your." When you're calling someone racist and misogynist, maybe hit spell check first, but the real headline is this. Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks a comedian making a joke about her is grounds for Capitol Police involvement. If that logic held, Dave Chappelle would have been cuffed during every Netflix special. But the wild part, we're just getting started.
On our show Tuesday night, MTG, Clan Mom as we call her, earlier in the day, called 3 of her fellow Republicans pro-pedophile for supporting Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's nomination. She tweets. After she saw it, she tweeted, "ABC contacts my employer. This threat of violence against me by Jimmy Kimmel has been filed with the Capitol Police." She called the police. After processing the fact that someone called the police on me, believe it or not, this has never happened to me in my life. I tweeted back, I wrote, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke."
That one tweet, "Officer, I'd like to report a joke," was all it took for Jimmy Kimmel to hijack the internet and turn Marjorie Taylor Greene's outrage into a full-blown cultural moment. Let's be real. The fact that she filed a Capitol Police report over a joke is so ridiculous it sounds like an SNL sketch about Marjorie Taylor Greene. But nope, this actually happened. And what triggered her? Kimmel joking about Will Smith slapping her. A reference to the biggest Oscar scandal in years. No one called for violence. No mobs were summoned. It was satire. A well-placed jab about someone who called her own Republican colleagues pro-pedophile. That's not just insulting. That's radioactive rhetoric. So she says that's okay, but making a joke about her? Suddenly we've crossed a line. The hypocrisy is louder than a MAGA rally mic check. But here's the brilliance in Kimmel's response. He didn't explain himself. He didn't argue. He mocked the absurdity. That tweet wasn't just funny. It was a power move. He flipped her entire narrative and made her the punchline. By the time her supporters realized what happened, the internet had already turned her into a meme, and the phrase "report a joke" became the comedy world's new favorite comeback. And trust me, it only gets worse for Marjorie Taylor Greene's.
If she's gonna report me to the police, if that's how she wants to play it, I'll report you right back. And I won't go to the police, I'll go to the Justice League. Note to Jimmy Kimmel, not only would Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband make quick work of you, but Rep. MTG herself would make quick work of you. Kimmel would not last too long if he were interested in engaging in unprovoked, terrible violence against this congresswoman. Wearing a mask while Senator Cruz replied to this, that was not written to him. Bizarre. 535 members of Congress can attend the State of the Union without wearing masks. Still not good enough for Hollywood.
Okay, so now it's full superhero cosplay. She wants to involve the Capitol Police. Fine. Jimmy Kimmel says he'll take it up with the Justice League. And right on cue, the MAGA multiverse shows up with their usual flair. Marjorie Taylor Greene's husband would beat up Jimmy Kimmel. Marjorie Taylor Greene herself would flatten him. Like this is some kind of political WE crossover episode. But here's what's really happening. They've lost control of the narrative. They're no longer defending a viewpoint. They're role-playing a bar fight on Twitter. What's especially ironic, these are the same people who cry about snowflakes every time someone on the left says they don't like a joke. But now their entire brand is unraveling because Jimmy Kimmel said one sentence about Will Smith. The internet caught that real quick, and instead of defending their ideology, they started defending Marjorie Taylor Greene's toughness. Like we're supposed to believe she's an Avenger now. But let's keep it real. This isn't about strength, it's about thin skin and how dangerous it gets when powerful people can't handle being laughed at. And Jimmy Kimmel, he's not backing down. In fact, he's just getting warmed up.
Hey, you know, all these crazy people in Congress, all of these low IQ individuals in Congress right now, there's one guy who's responsible for that, and that's Donald Trump.
First, new evidence tonight that you, the American people, all of us, we were all lied to.
Frankly, we did win this election.
We were lied to by Joe Biden.
Obama, amnesty. Amnesty, Obama, amnesty.
What kind of president needs a no card to answer a basic and predictable question?
You want to talk about delusion? Let's unpack that last clip. We've got a mashup of every right-wing talking point in existence. Low IQ individuals in Congress, Trump actually won, Obama amnesty, and even a jab at Biden reading off cue cards. It's the political version of word salad with a side of outrage. It's not even clear what the message is anymore, just that everything is rigged, fake, or terrifying, unless it came from Donald Trump. Now, here's what's wild. These clips are being presented like evidence to prove Kimmel is some dangerous radical, but all they actually do is show the type of conspiratorial nonsense Greene and her base are peddling daily, while complaining that someone making fun of them is the real threat. It's like they're projecting their own chaos onto everyone else. And by the way, when you're accusing your colleagues of being criminals and claiming a late-night joke is violence, you've officially lost the ability to say you care about free speech. The deeper this goes, the clearer it becomes. This was never about safety, it's about ego. And when ego gets bruised by comedy, it lashes out. But the backlash? Oh, that was still coming.
He's been sending very cleverly coded messages, narrating what he sees, maybe more clearly than anyone, the brazen and unchecked hypocrisy we're being bombarded with every day.
We're going to beat this coronavirus, or whatever you want to call it, and we're going to beat it soundly.
And Biden's lies are so bad that even the Washington Post is calling him out for his lies.
The Washington Post new report out today.
At this point, the whole situation feels like a masterclass in how not to handle criticism. Jimmy Kimmel uses humor to highlight the double standards in politics, like the fact that Marjorie Taylor Greene screams about censorship while trying to literally censor him. She wants to claim Kimmel is inciting violence. Meanwhile, she's retweeting coded messages, stoking outrage, and fueling conspiracy theories, and no one bats an eye. But when a comedian claps back, suddenly it's a crime scene. This whole debacle is exposing something deeper. The fact that political figures like Greene are losing control over the narrative. They've gotten so used to controlling the mic that when someone like Kimmel cracks a joke, they treat it like a terrorist threat. And Kimmel, he's doing what smart comics do. He's not apologizing, he's not retreating, he's turning the moment into content, weaponizing the absurdity. That's why the internet ran with it. Because this wasn't just about Kimmel versus Greene. It was about the power of comedy to say the things most people are too scared to say. And now, that power has gone viral, and Greene can't delete the internet.